everybody please mute your cell phones so we don't have any unwanted distractions. Joining us now on the podium are members of the Lincoln Memorial Rail Splitters men's basketball program. In the center of our podium is head coach Josh Schertz. To his left, next to me, is Gerel Simmons. Gerel is a senior guard from Accokeek, Maryland. On the far side to coach's right is Emanuel Terry. Emanuel is a sophomore forward from Enterprise, Alabama. And coach, first, your initial impressions on a ball game that in the first 10 minutes seemed like Barry jumped out on you, but then you regained momentum heading into the half and never really let up in the second half.
Yeah, first I'd like to congratulate Barry on an unbelievable season. Make it here is incredible, and an incredible accomplishment. Butch and those guys have done an amazing job, so first want to congratulate them, and they have an outstanding team. In terms of us, I thought they came out and really we had been, the aggressor throughout the region. Our regional games we had won by, I think, an average of 26 points a game, and had gotten out to great starts in all three games and performed at such a high level. It was, I don't know when the last time we were down double figures was, but it hasn't been any time recent. And we just got punched them out. I told them in the huddle, it looked like we were playing against our big brother. They were physical. They were moving us around. They were, quicker to lose balls. We were slow offensively, and we just kind of settled in. A couple shots went down. I thought really the key was we started defending, and once we started defending at a higher level, we were able to force some misses. The misses, once we started rebounding, gave us pace offensively, and we're at our best when we're able to get out in transition. So that kind of triggered that. We got up 4 at half, and then I thought second half we really, that was probably as good a 20 minutes on the defensive side of the ball as we put together all year.
Emanuel, 20 points, 10 rebounds, a double-double, very efficient from the floor, 9 of 10. Give us the game from your perspective.
I really just went out and tried to perform at the best of my ability, and coach laid on me about go get the glass or protect the rim, and that's really what I'm supposed to do on the court. I try to help my teammates out when the ball is driven and run the floor. And on the offensive side, I just try to we have like a lot of shooters on our team, so I just try to go after every rebound I can and try to get my putbacks in, and I just went out and played the best I could.
Gerel, you had 16 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists. Tell us a little bit about the change of mindset, so to speak, that coach talked about between the first, say, 8 minutes of the game and when the Rail Splitters really got rolling.
I mean, in that first 8 minutes or so, a lot of the shots we were taking weren't great shots, and the ball wasn't maybe going in as usually we would start in the first half like we've been starting in the regionals or so. So we just had to focus more on the defensive end instead of just letting our offense dictate how we're playing and stuff like that. So once we focused in on the defensive end, things got better and the ball started going in more.
Questions for the Rail Splitters? Go ahead.
Hey, Coach, that stretch middle of the second half, y'all went 8 for 13 from the field, and you held them to 3 for 9. The other jumps that jumped out was you get 9 steals, and they only had a couple of steals in the last few minutes. What was clicking during that run? Because I know you also had that second run, or the first run rather, at the end of the half.
Well, I think anytime you're able to get out and force turnovers, that usually is a good thing. It's not something that we necessarily stress defensively, but it's something where we try to be from, if you're in the right position, you're playing hard, and gives you a chance to drop and make some plays. And turnovers, live ball turnovers are the best thing in the world for a defense and the worst thing for an offense, because it takes away a possession that usually compromises your defense because you're leading to a number advantage on the other side of the floor. So, I thought we really kind of, I think Gerel hit the nail on the head. Early on, we got out of character a little bit. Our shot selection was poor. And we talked about, coming to the Elite Eight, there's going to be times if we're fortunate to play 6 games here in the NCAA tournament that, you're not going to make shots. And we missed a bunch of free throws. We didn't shoot the 3 particularly well. We missed some bunnies at the rim. But, you can compensate with that if you play with you play great defense, you play with great energy, you play with great toughness, you can compensate for not making shots. Early in the game, I didn't think we played with any of those 3 things, and we weren't making shots. I don't know that we shot it, a whole lot better the rest of the way, but our defense was great. Our energy was great. Our toughness was great the last 30 minutes of the game.
Emanuel, you had 6 guys finish with at least 10 points. Certainly speaks to your depth and balance on offense. Your thoughts on that?
I can say my coach does a good job recruiting, you know, and as far as like our coaches do a good job of helping us like get better at our skills, and like me just I'm pretty blessed to be a part of this team because we have so much depth, like you said. And I mean, if one person not doing good, coach can always find somebody else to do a job, you know, pick us up. And as that goes on, it shows a lot of energy. When one person's doing good, it builds off on everybody else too, and that helps us, you know, like click together.
Josh, how important was the contributions in the last 7 or 8 minutes of the first half of Curtis McMillian, who came off the bench and really got some big baskets?
It was unbelievable because we were reeling right there. You know, we got punched in the nose, and it was just, I mean, we were down 11, and you could see kind of we were, you know, what do we do? And McMillian gets a couple buckets, gets stickbacks. I mean, you know, that's, you know, when we got our championship T-shirts from the conference, we put on there, you know, strength in numbers, and that's, you know, to us, in our first meeting of the year in August, we talked about our greatest strength is our depth, and if we didn't handle our depth the right way, our greatest detriment would be our depth because guys would be mad about playing time or mad about what somebody else is doing. And Curtis is a guy who's a fifth-year senior who started most of the early season. Emanuel was really kind of injured most of the first semester, and Curtis was outstanding for us. And we had a meeting in January. There was a point where I sat Curtis down and I said, for us to be as good as we can be and have a chance to, you know, compete at the national level, Emanuel's got to start, and you got to come off the bench. And it just shows, I mean, our bench has a fifth-year senior in Curtis McMillian, a fourth-year junior in Curtis Webb, a fourth-year senior in Tim Pierce, and a fourth-year junior in Paul Woodson. I mean, those guys, I mean, we start 2 sophomores. So, I mean, it just shows the character of the people in the room. And you know, I tell them all the time, I'm incredibly lucky to be their coach. They're just, you know, talented guys, but better people. And Curtis, you know, we were reeling, comes in, really stabilizes us. And then Emanuel in the second half plays great, so Curtis doesn't play as much. And, you know, he's as happy as a clam in the locker room. You know, he had 11-11. I don't even know he played 18 minutes. So.
Gerel, what was the key to staying in front of their guards, especially 23? It seemed like the game kind of changed once you cut off driving lanes.
I mean, just we know we got E back there in the help side, so it allows us to play with more confidence on the defensive end. Sometimes when you don't have a shot blocker back there like E, Emanuel, or Curtis McMillian, you know, you don't have as much confidence on the ball defensively, and you might sag off some and make them shoot or things like that. But you know, having a shot blocker down there just allows us to play with confidence on the defensive end, allows us to pressure up more, pressure their guards, because their guards can shoot it and drive it, most of them. So we just tried to do that, and when we did get beat, you know, he was there to erase some shots.
Any more questions for Lincoln Memorial?
Yeah, I got one. You guys rewriting the sack record book, first team ever to make the Final Four. You know, it's great for the league. Still got work to do. Gerel, talk a little bit about, you know, the tournament experience, how it was a little bit different from last year.
It's a lot different and different team. I mean, this is a first time experience for all of us, so we're just trying to embrace it as well as we can while keeping our mind focused on the task ahead. Like, for the game we just played, it's over with now. You know, we're enjoying it as we can, and we got to get focused for who we play tomorrow.
Right, Coach. And thinking of 2 years ago at the SAC tournament, Carson Newman comes out and pretty much does what Barry did. And it seems like you had 2 players here who played on that squad last year. It seems like they weren't going to let that happen this year.
Yeah, I think, you know, the experience of what we went through last year, you know, I always feel bad we're beating up on last year's team, went 30-3, but, you know, I feel badly for that team, but they, you know, those, you know, by the end of the year, we had lost our way. You know, I told the guys it was like identity theft. You know, we had become a shell of what we were to get to number 1 in the country last year. And by the end, you know, we were entitled, pretty soft team, and you know, we got beat. And these guys went through that. And you know, we had a rough, probably the hardest postseason meeting for a 30-3 team in the history of basketball, because there was a lot of truth told in that meeting, and the guys committed themselves to, you know, getting better. I think that continuity and the experience, that's how you grow. You know, these guys came back and they've been, for lack of a better term, wounded, understood, like if we lose our edge, we can get beat. They thought last year, hey, we're just going to kind of show up, it's going to go our way, we're 29-1, everything's going to kind of happen the way we expect it to, and they look up and season's over. And having 8-9 guys that have been through that, the only guy that hasn't is Jalen, has been huge for us moving forward.
One last question, Coach. Looking ahead to tomorrow, you're either going to draw West Liberty or Stonehill. The buzz is both those teams tend to play a similar style to what we saw from Barry today. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, watched both teams, and certainly Stonehill's, runs pretty much more like a motion offense and has some sets. They got terrific players. West Liberty, everybody knows what they do. You're going to space the floor. They got, arguably the greatest three-point shooter in the history of college basketball in Bonifant, and they surround him with great players that's here for the 5th time in 6 years. So whoever we play, it's going to be tremendously challenging. I think they're similar to Barry in some ways, but different, like every team is. And we'll have to be prepared, watch that game, and then have a short turnaround and get ready for another really difficult challenge tomorrow, whoever that is.
Well, gentlemen, congratulations on the win today, and best of luck tomorrow evening.